Well, hello YouTube, it's me, Fortmaster, and welcome back to another Bizabizow. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly. But another Bizabizow, fixing Funko's bad FNAF plushies video. This one is fixing FNAF 3 plushies. So I just uploaded my reaction to the two FNAF 2 videos today, and so far in the few hours that it's been up, it is doing rather well, at least for, my channel. So I'm going to keep this train rolling here, because I definitely want to see more of how, how she's, does and actually, redesigns these plushies, because honestly, again, I've said it in both of these videos so far, but she does such good work. And seeing, how some of the plushies that were actually made are so obviously just reskinned cash grabs, and how much actual work and effort she's put into some of these. It's absolutely wonderful, and I want to see more, especially considering that FNAF 3, there's only one truly original character, where the vast majority of the animatronics you see are all just not even withered, they're just ghost fire damaged versions of previous ones. So, but even then, this video was still almost half an hour long. Though granted, it's the only FNAF 3 video that's on here. But either way, it looks like it's going to be fun. So yeah, let's get this thing started. So of course, as always, original videos linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day. And if you like this video or any other video that I make, I'd very much appreciate it if you gave the video a like and subscribe to my channel, because almost 3/4 of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed, and I'd very much like that to change, because my next big goal is hopefully it's 6,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and I'm very close to actually crossing that milestone. But yeah, with all that out of the way, let's get this thing started then, shall we? Here we go. Wait, we're too early. There's the next go.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Just what can I say about Five Nights at Freddy's? This indie horror juggernaut needs no introduction. Spanning 11 installments and billions of views on YouTube, the cultural impact that this franchise had on the gaming world cannot be overstated.
Man, can you even call Five Nights at Freddy's an indie game at this point? There are so many games. It's made by an actual studio now instead of its original developer. It's a literal multimedia franchise now, with not only the games but the books, the many different types of books. Both just a word and graphic novel, and it also has movies and and that's ignoring all the different things that fans have made over the years. God, I know, thinking back, I still remember, the fact that, FNAF was, life-changing for Scott, but just how life-changing now? I honestly want to see, the actual, change in his, I'd love to see, the graph depicting his net worth. I would love to see just how that actually visualized.
But, just how did this piece of horror perfection come to be?
I am watching the right video, right? This is supposed to be about fixing the plushies that were made for FNAF 3, right?
The year is 2014. Okay, hi, it's me. Back to continue our FNAF plushie fixin' adventures. If you're all caught up on the last 3 episodes or read the title, you'd know that we're on to FNAF 3 now.
Okay, what was what's with the double bait and switch here? We're
If you're not caught up, I'd recommend doing so, but if you don't feel like it, here's the quick rundown.
God, wait a second, can I just go back to that? You look at these, and God, though granted, that's, I was gonna say, the 3 videos only had, 40,000 views, but that was the playlist alone. Jeez, I wonder what it's at now, because this video alone, granted, it's a couple years old, but it has it has 1.3 million views.
Here's the quick rundown. I'm going through all the Five Nights at Freddy's installments game by game and drawing new, improved, hypothetical designs for its respective characters' official Funko brand plushies, as well as filling in all the holes left by Funko in their plushie roster.
Which I have been officially informed that, Funko hasn't been officially off the plushie and merch bandwagon for a while now, thankfully.
Entirely original designs of my making. The whole goal is to draw the most accurate, most appealing, and most somewhat realistic plush toy concepts based on these guys using this
really
list of
adorable
guidelines. You can check out the first episode if you want those details fully explained, by the way. But I notoriously have the brain the size and shape of a Fig Newton, so on super duper rare occasions, I make mistakes in my my previous episode. The only thing worth talking about in the last one was my puppet design. Firstly, oh my god, are you serious? Somehow, I mistakenly gave them 4 fingers instead of the correct 3, which I don't even have an excuse for this one.
I didn't even notice that. I mean, I remember I specifically pointed out that I only noticed for the first time that the puppet only had 3 fingers. It didn't even occur to me that, oh hey, the plushie has more.
Just toss me in the pool. Aside from just that glaring error, overall, this plush had a bit of a mixed response in general after that video's release. Some of you seem to like it a lot, but a common sentiment I saw expressed in the comments was that it looked off compared to all my other designs, many pointing out the eyes and body as the culprits here. And yeah, I totally agree. At first I was satisfied with this design, but the more I looked at it after the fact, the more I realized y'all are right, and it was definitely in need of some tweaking. So I went ahead and made a tweaked version. I simplified the puppet's teardrop eye shape instead of just the circular eyes, and I slimmed their body down a little bit so they don't look so buff.
And for the fingers, yeah.
Yeah, that definitely looks a lot better now.
Yeah, okay. I mean, granted, I didn't have any complaints about the old design. But yeah, this one, honestly, just side by side, yeah, this one, objectively, it is a better design.
I'll play the sound to make it official. Okay, now let's get a little bit green. As you know, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is a game containing considerably less characters than the last. Like, a whole lot less. There's one dude now. Not only is Springtrap the main star of the show in this one, he's also the only real animatronic out to get you here. However, to supplement this, the Phantoms were added that are like almost separate characters, kinda. These guys
They're
are
hallucinations,
ghostly versions
yeah,
of previous animatronic models, meaning we have a lot of recolors to do. However, although that sounds simple enough, it did to me when I first started at least, the Phantoms are quite difficult to translate to plushie designs, it turns out. This isn't just a quick paint bucket tool job here. Very quickly, I realized that
I would imagine at least, there are, subtle differences, like, again, Phantom Foxy is missing half an arm. So on top of the coloring, you also have to alter the actual geometry of the the one arm. Maybe have something similar to the withered Bonnie look.
Gonna have to accept the fact that these plushies are going to be just a smidge on the uggo side, and I think that's kind of unavoidable.
I mean, given that they're based off horror game characters, I don't think that's really that big of a downside.
These designs are meant to be old, ghostly, mold-ridden things, so yeah, not much I can do there without sacrificing big time on accuracy. But as always, I'm going to try my best and do what I can to still make these guys somewhat visually appealing and still somewhat cute, hopefully. But you know what isn't cute? Having to pay full price for items while shopping online.
Well, what do you know? She got sponsored.
The hardest part for me was, ironically, the recoloring, specifically choosing colors for the Phantom.
Okay, I honestly thought this was going to be sponsored. Okay, never mind.
When you think of the Phantoms, you most likely will just imagine the color green. And yeah, they all do have a lot of green present, but the only one that's actually entirely pure green is Phantom Freddy. The others have either a good amount or tiny bits of their original color showing through. So you'd think that I could just take the original colors, darken them, and take the color wheel closer to green, and boom, done deal. But that ends up being an ugly color palette. Like, this is Vom. So
I mean, granted, I mean, again, you're kind of like limited in what you can work with.
So I decided to go ahead and just make all their color schemes completely green. It'll give all the Phantoms a nice theme, and each one will end up looking a lot nicer overall. However, for each of their colors, I'll tint it in the direction of its original color, meaning they'll each essentially be green with either warmer or cooler tones. They'll still look dark and grimy, but hopefully in a way that doesn't clash terribly. As for these dark, I guess, burn streaks, mud streaks, whatever these shit stains are.
God, I only just remembered. I remember back in the day there were some people that called this watermelon chica because the burn patterns kind of looked like the stripes of a watermelon.
I unfortunately have to resort to something I've been trying to avoid thus far, and that's printed fabric. I've ragged on Plushies for having this before, as most of the time it's implemented really poorly and just ends up making the plush look super cheap and crusty. However, it's not inherently a terrible thing at base level. There are Plushies that utilize this fairly well, actually. I think it works best when it's done in a more airbrushed way. For certain Plushies with designs or patterns that require shapes with a more cloudy look, or just straight up color gradients, which
I mean, for the Phantoms definitely does work, yes.
Stitched on patterns or glued on fabric portions obviously can't do. So given that these sludge lines are meant to look dirty and grimy, I thought this would actually be the one time where this would fit. It'll make the Plushies look old and dirty, like stuffed animals that have been treated a little rough over the years. So how about I demonstrate all this for you with our first Phantom.
Oh, poor guy.
This thing is one of the ugliest sons of bitches Funko has squeezed out of their little machines.
You know, if I didn't already know that was based off of Balloon Boy, I almost wouldn't believe you that it was. Because, I mean, the green skin he looks more, he almost has more in common that with like a Minecraft zombie. And what's with the pink and blue stripes? Like, pink and blue, the real Phantom Balloon Boy wasn't like that. What? That is a horrible.
Once again, I get the whole point of the Phantoms is to look haunted and gross, but this is just an abysmal color palette. Also, not to mention the Balloon Boy base plush in and of itself is terrible, but you've heard me flop about that before.
Yeah.
So here's my version. As you can see, I simplified the range of colors quite a bit from the original. Again, the reds and blues and all that clashed way too much and would have made for a muddy-ass design, so I settled for darker and lighter greens to represent all the values. Plus, he just looks a lot closer to his office render that way. Yeah. Of course, I removed BB's balloon and sign, as they're nowhere to be seen in this title. He's unemployed, I assume. And as I discussed before, we have some printed, or I guess sort of airbrushed on streaks all over, similar to how they look in-game, but not nearly as stark, and of course a lot more simplified.
There's definitely like a talent to like finding a good way of simplifying things while actually still having them be recognizable. And this, like, even though again it is actually missing the colors that the real Phantom Balloon Boy had, like, you can tell just off the, like, directly off the bat that this is supposed to be Phantom Balloon Boy. It is just like a perfect version. Again, I've said before, she is so good at doing this. And I honestly wish that, you know, she actually had these like made into actual plushes to be sold, because like they are like they are like perfect.
I decided to select certain areas to stay clean, just to keep them a lot less cluttered and easier on the eyes. I feel like if they were literally all over, it would be way too much. I don't want to suffocate him. I mean, not that he doesn't deserve it. So there we go.
God, ugh. The green boy is coming.
Despite his name just being Phantom Freddy, this is in fact a reskin of withered Golden Freddy's model.
Yeah, that is actually one of the things, because again, he's the only one that's like actually green, but you can see that the original coloring is the yellow. God, I wonder if there used to be some sort of meaning behind that, because I don't think I've ever actually heard anybody discuss that before.
Note the missing ear and wires in his eye. Why is he not named Phantom Golden Freddy then? Hey, we're fixing the plushies here, not the names. I also have to address the great leg debate. You see, in the 2 games he's in, not that one, that doesn't count, you never actually see this guy's body in full. In the extras menu, his walking animation in the window, and his render in UCN, you never see his knee joints or anything past it. However, in the unobscured window animation seen in the files, you can clearly see that the lower half of his right leg is missing, very similar to how Phantom Foxy's right arm is gone as well. A lot of people didn't, or still don't know this, so you'll find a lot of
I've never noticed that
fan
before.
renders with his leg still intact. Is this super important? Nah, but once again, I want to be accurate.
Again, that's one of those things I've never known about. Really, again, like this series is like so good because, like, again, I'm witnessing like actual, like, oh, really good designs for stuff like this, and at the same time, like, I'm learning stuff about the franchise that I've never actually known about. It's wonderful.
So here he is. Only a few things to talk about here. I made the greens warmer than Balloon Boy this time, as Freddy's has more yellowy greens. I made the wires just gray and black with no red this time. And as I said, I removed a chunk of his leg, making it a little stump, similar to how I made Withered Chica's arms last time, as both limbs aren't completely gone, unlike...
Oh, God, you know, I just remembered. I hope I can find the picture, but I remember... like, just after FNAF World had been announced, this was years ago, I remember seeing this, like, this little comic somebody had made, and it was like, it was the FNAF World, the FNAF World Withered Chica just sadly sitting on the ground in front of a piece of, in front of a plate of pizza, just like with the little thing, he said he'd fix me. Oh, I just remember that. Oh, that was so... Oh, God, now I'm sad. Why?
Withered Bonnies. Again, with the printed smudges, I once again selected certain areas to leave clean for visual appeal and cleanliness. This will be continued for all of them, just wanted to bring attention to it one more time. So yeah, Phantom Freddy, all slimed up. Wait, what the fuck did I just say?
All slimed up. Here we go, Chica! The fuck?
Oh shit, it's the birdie from Five Nights at Freddy's.
So famously, FNAF 3 decided to use Chica's FNAF 1 design, despite Freddy and Foxy's being FNAF 2's. So this will, of course,
it's really weird and confusing.
Plushie. So, but although not by much, her green shade is even more yellow than Freddy's because, you know, chicken. Her beak is more of a greenish brown to represent the orange in game. And for her bib design, I just made it sort of faded looking and, of course, dark as well.
Yeah, I mean, it works.
Her muddy smudges cover the entire bib design, making it completely hidden from view. I tried to do a similar thing and add the lines to the bib as well, but no matter how I did it, it always just looked really bad and cluttered, so I opted for this instead.
I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, you have to work at making it actually look good rather than, 100% accurate.
It just looks better than whatever I was doing before, trust me. And yeah, that's basically it. She's done. Oh, also, I made a little bonus alternate version for Fum Fum. As you know, the way...
Wait, what was that? What was that? I'm having... no one can see me. Okay.
As you know, the way Phantom Chica is summoned is by looking at Cam 7 when her face is in the arcade cabinet, all black and white and scary and such. So I made a recolor based on her appearance there. It could be one of your special collector exclusive editions or whatever the fuck.
Okay. I didn't even think of that. That's, okay. Phantom Cupcake.
Is there, like, a single person out there that's a big enough Phantom Cupcake fan to buy a plush of this thing?
I didn't even know there was a Phantom Cupcake. I don't remember Phantom Cupcake. I remember there was the Phantom Foxy, Freddy, Balloon Boy, Chica, Phantom... Was the Phantom Puppet? Yeah, Phantom Puppet was the one that kind of, like, stuck in your face and stayed like that the entire time. And then it was Springtrap. I don't remember the Phantom Cupcake.
I really shouldn't have said every character, huh? Okay, so the Phantom Cupcake, or Shadow Cupcake, according to the wiki, I didn't know that, only appears on the cameras, meaning they all look super dark and monochrome. So I just made them entirely black with small greener parts and smudge lines to have that Phantom look.
Never heard of that.
Favorite FNAF character, yippee. Okay, next up, goddammit, another one. Yeah, so this is an Easter egg in FNAF 3 where the poster in Cam 4 turns into a golden cupcake.
How many years has FNAF 3 been out? Out of all the Easter eggs and stuff I've ever heard anybody ever talk about, I've literally never heard of golden cupcake before.
Which, like, in and of itself is literally just a wall decoration, not a character, so normally I wouldn't include it, but there's an official render of this guy. Did you know that? Yeah,
what?
In the Freddy Files book, there is straight up a render of the FNAF 1 cupcake colored yellow. So, there. Don't say I never did nothing for you, alright?
God, I mean... Okay, so here's the thing. When I first started the series, originally, I was under the impression, oh yeah, she's gonna make every single character. But I assumed that the problems and the really obscure characters or really weird designs were not gonna appear until like Ultimate Custom Night, wherein you have like 52 different animatronics. I didn't think we were gonna start pulling out the really weird and obscure characters, quote unquote, in FNAF 3, with two of them being literal, just being the cupcake. Simpsons. Here we go, the puppet.
Hello.
Phantom Foxy,
This was the other Phantom plush that Funko actually decided to make.
This one's just great. What? Okay. I can understand, a redesign, cheap, but like this doesn't even look like Phantom. This just looks like what would the opposite of Neon be? Like that's what this is. This is anti-Neon Foxy
in real life. And although not as bad as BB's, I'd say, it's, well, to quote the character of Nikki Lada from the 2013 movie Rush about this plushie's quality, it's amazing. All these facilities and you make a piece of crap like this.
Yeah.
Did you guys like my awesome reference that I came up with? For some reason they decided to use weird shiny metallic looking material for this one that's just real icky. It's super odd that they chose this given the fact that the Phantoms are like the complete opposite of shiny. They're dark and dirty. I really don't get the thought process behind that. Something
again, like I don't even like. I'd have to say like, oh, who was paid to make this? But at this point, I don't even think they were even paid to do this. Like this was like something they made during like a 5-minute break or something like that. Like and they just sent it off to the assembly lines to start being made.
You may have noticed as well is that this is a recolor of the FNAF 1 Foxy plush they have. Probably because they, didn't have a withered Foxy plush yet. Now that's like all fine and good, but in that case, why not just do the Phantoms you already have regular counterparts of, like the Puppet or Mangle or FNAF 1 Chica? I mean, they'd all look like shit anyways, especially the first two, but I wouldn't be like as pissed off. Alright, so here's my version. First thing I should mention is what I did with the colors. You see, Phantom Foxy is actually a fairly vibrant brownish red compared to all the other Phantoms. However, like I stated before, we're making all our Phantoms follow a green color scheme, so this kind of color isn't really gonna work. Instead,
this one kind of moved towards the brown end of the spectrum.
I picked a green that's more in the brown territory. I mean, you could say it's just yellowish brown, but against the other greens in the design, it looks pretty darn greenish. All the endoskeleton parts, I went ahead and just made black, as it looks nice and makes sense being the darkest parts of the plushie.
Yeah.
And of course, as I've mentioned before, Phantom Foxy's football career was tragically and abruptly ended at some point. So I gave him an arm stub with a few small wires, just like Phantom Freddy's leg. And that's pretty much it.
And again, like, I love the whole thing that's like, oh, the wizards are symbolized by them having, like, worn stitching and stuff like that. I love that. Why has nobody ever actually thought of doing that on the real ones?
For him. There you are. Yeah, so if you didn't get that joke, that was reference to pirates and the phrase that has been heavily associated with pirates.
You need to stop. You're breaking the video.
Now I'm hearing the music coming from here. Is it from the green or from the black? From the black? I love that. I love hearing this. Can you hear this too? Or is it just, you can? That's great.
Pentamangle,
Once
okay.
again, not a whole lot to say for this one, so I'll just go ahead and show them. For the parts that would have been white, I gave them the same green tone BB's color is, as it's more on the cooler and lighter side than the others. And like Foxy, all the animatronic endoskeleton parts are black. And yeah, the more I go on, the less and less I have to say about these, so...
I mean, it works. I mean, a lot of these, especially for here, I mean, for FNAF 4, it's going to be completely different. But for a lot of these are literally just recolors and slight alterations of already existing designs. So, I mean, I'm looking at this, and the biggest chunk of the video is from Springtrap. So, yeah, I'm going to be excited to see that.
Oh, there. That leaves us just one more Phantom to talk about before him.
Yeah. Big man himself.
Once again, not anything of note to really say here aside from, look at them. Some might call them spooky. Here it is. So everything but the puppet's head in-game is super dark, including all the stripes and whatnot. So
yeah.
To simplify it, I just made everything but the face clean black and dark colors, with the only smudgage coming from the top part of the face, mirroring their appearance in-game. And yeah, the Phantom puppet. Okay, well, time for the fella.
God, you know, I'm looking, and like one of the comments, I'm saying this literally as I just got it. One of the comments says that that you know, Biz originally started uploading, you know, YouTube poops on YouTube. So yeah, I can definitely see where, you know, the editing chicanery is happening on these transitions.
You all have probably been waiting for a brand new fixed version of the stinky, rotting corpse bunny man's official plush. I think my grandmother would pass out if she heard me say that sentence. Well, you know, a second time after passing out from seeing a trans in front of her.
Can we just, yeah, so the, like, new headcanon for William Afton, he's just Wallace.
All right, Springtrap. He's one of, if not the most iconic characters next to, like, Freddy Fazbear and maybe even Foxy. He's incredibly important to this franchise, and Funko's plushie, Funko, their plushie of him is not good because... Okay, actually, I don't know if I'm really equipped to talk about all that is Springtrap Afton, William Afton Springtrap as is. I just don't think I'll be able to do it justice. Honestly,
I would heartily disagree, given, you know, the last 3 videos I've watched of yours, and, you know, the beginning portion of this video, would prove otherwise.
I might just have to end the episode here. I'm sorry, guys. You can complain to me on Twitter or whatever. I'm just gonna go. Wait. You know what? Actually, this might be a perfect time to whip out my iconic Bizabizow shape-shifting ability that I've definitely always had and was not at all retconned in just now for the sake of a funny bit, to channel the energy of someone whose Splingschlop knowledge greatly surpasses my own. Then maybe I'll have enough confidence to tackle this thing, eh?
What?
Shit, wait, hold on, that's actually not what I meant to do at all. Embarrassing, am I right, folks? Just give me a sec.
There we go, finally. Apologies, Springtrap on the mind. Got me thinking British thoughts.
I am so lost. Help.
So, if you're anything like me, you know that Springtrap is not only a cool character, but also the best character design in any fictional media ever. It's true. I said so. Springtrap has a lot going on that makes him such a cool design, and a character with a fascinating aura. This is the man responsible for everything that went wrong at Freddy's.
Man
Now
behind
a
the
mangled
slaughter.
corpse, trapped in the very grin-plastered suit he used to murder his child victims in. The only parts of him left to be seen being tiny bits of guts and flesh peeking out from the tears and gashes in the costume, showing that not only is the killer still in there, hungry to enact a gruesome death onto you, but its motivation? The very tortured anguish it is currently experiencing right then, as it slowly makes its way towards you. Yeah, I'd look cute on the shelf next to Pikachu. Obviously, a lot has to be done to simplify him into a cute, huggable plushie, but as long as some of his most vital attributes are maintained, you can accomplish this while still churning out something distinctly Springtrap. Or, you know, you can be Funko and not do that. Whatever works. And boy, that Pop Tropica grin sure does make me want to buy hordes of him. Let me
Bob Tropica. What? That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Jeez.
tell ya. Listen, right? Much like some of the other silly-looking ones, this little guy does have an unintentional form of charm. Just not that distinct Springtrap charm, you feel me? His head shape isn't even close to what Springtrap has, and as you can see...
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking at this, and the head shape and the mouth, this almost looks like it'd be more in tune with Scrap Trap than Springtrap. Like, I'm not the only one that thinks that, right?
His snout is weirdly large and bulbous compared to Springtrap's, little stump, I guess. And ooh boy, those eyes. How do you look at this character's stark white pupils with gray and black irises and decide, yeah, we'll just make them yellow? Funnily enough, this is a consistent problem with the vast majority of Funko's other Springtrap merch. No, I need to shut up. This is about Dr. Hair over here. And of course, his mass amounts of withering were attempted here, this time with red for those silly innards, but I don't know. It seems a little off to try and translate it this literally onto a plush, you know?
So, is it going to be, you know, the stitch work like the previous, like on the withers? I'd love to see that. That'll be adorable.
I don't really care to picture rotting intestines inside my stuffed animal. Oh, and the lovely coat of piss yellow. The original color scheme was just a suggestion, really. Anyway, enough about Funko. Let's talk about me, YouTube, with Bizabizow. Ta-da! Look at that. Maybe there are good things in this world.
I like it. I like it, and a lot of stitch work going on basically everywhere. And now you have, like, multicolored. You have the one, you know, going along the waist. You have, like, the regular, sort of the slightly off color, and then you have the red one symbolizing the guts. I like it. I like it. It's in its simplicity. It is horrifyingly adorable.
First, the head. I love head. Look at this guy. He actually resembles the original model. And hey, not a single corner cut on that award-winning smile. Now it's actually a three-dimensional open mouth like we've done before. Gives much more of his smug vibe back. His accurate sassy little eyelids do too. And... oh,
sassy little eyelids.
oh my god.
Wow, I have it!
Correct eye colors. For the stitches.
Okay, why is it the second I, you know, pointed out, like, oh, I was told that she did YouTube poops back in the day, that the YouTube poops were cranked up to, like, another 2 notches.
We have the most we've done so far, a ton of them in varying colors, vaguely simplifying his various holes and tears. This keeps Springtrap more in line with our withered plushie designs, which, once again, makes for a more cute, snuggly toy. Also, his weird toes from the original are replaced by these 3 stitch lines on each
Weird
foot,
toes.
sort of representing his iconic Bane nail polish toe separators. And to top it all off, we have a much more pleasing green color scheme for him. Less Mountain Dew the liquid and more Mountain Dew the bottle label. And there he is, the second best corpse rabbit in the series.
I have it!
Honestly,
Anyways,
beautiful.
Moving on to a character that's not from FNAF 3, rather sister location. Because? Might as well get this one out of the way.
Dark
Yeah,
Springtrap.
that Springtrap silhouette from sister location with exactly 2 seconds of screen time? That's considered a separate form of Springtrap.
You know, I mean, I know, FNAF merch had a really big, variance problem. I imagine, there's the weird, like, neon versions of characters that just seemingly just came out of nowhere and had no basis of anything in the game, really. But Dark Springtrap. A dark version of Springtrap, who was only dark because the cutscene in which it appeared for the 2 seconds was literally in a dark place. The idea is from Scott. Dark Springtrap is an Easter egg character and sister location custom. Right. Yeah, right.
Akin to Scrap Trap or Burn Trap. Look, he has his own Funko Pop. He does have like 2 slight model differences, like aside from being dark. That being a missing pelvis and the lack of his iconic ear wire. So I gave him a gray lower half and deleted the ear wire. Not only that, but most of his merchandise gives him pure white eyes, so that's also included as both a fun little touch and as an act of creative desperation. Why is this a separate character? Anyway,
I
enough
don't
about the
know.
rotting serial killer. Let's talk about his murder suit when it was fresh.
Had a lack of editing here, but YouTube's copyright said no. What? The cartoon from 1930s would be fair game, but I guess not.
Spring Bonnie is a pretty interesting character since we never actually see an official model of them in any of the games.
I mean, technically, in FNAF World, you see Spring Bonnie, but
Toy Foxy's case, they at least had a poster and a teaser showing their modeled original form.
actually, wait a second. Is she going to do the FNAF World? Because those are all technically their own different versions. Oh no.
Spring Bonnie is only shown as some minigame arcade sprites, these cartoony posters, and this 2D artwork in Pizzeria Simulator. However, we actually did get to see a tiny glimpse of an actual 3D model for the character at the end of 2021, as a single image of a Scrapped Help Wanted model shown in the Ultimate Guidebook.
Oh.
That I have to acknowledge exists. Aren't they just so endearing? Alright, let's see the good old Funko try. Well, separated entirely from what the character would look like, it's actually pretty cute. They do have a bit of an odd expression though, like...
Honestly, okay, that looks like it's based entirely off of the Spring Bonnie from FNAF World, and it looks like they have no teeth and they're kind of like,
Your poor little frown. Who upset them like this? Obviously, this is not at all what a fixed Springtrap would look like. So for ours, we'll just use the Springtrap as a base to create something more in line with these 2 renditions of the character. Everything here is pretty self-explanatory, only 2 things to address. The mouth curves inward a bit to give them a cute ooh-woo bunny smile. And there's eyelashes. This really helps a lot in making them look like a cuter version of Springtrap, I feel, and would make complete sense existing on the original Spring Bonnie suit. However, both these renditions don't have this detail, so here's a version without it. So yeah, pretty cut and dry. Oh, and the real Oof Troop themselves pestered me into doing an alt based on their appearances in the mini-games and posters in FNAF 3, with black eyes and a black bow tie. So there's that, if you wanted to pretend to live in a world where FNAF 4 never happened. And hey, would you looky there, we're done with FNAF 3. Although the Phantoms might have been a little... Oh wait.
Although the Phantoms might have been a little messy and difficult to figure out, this was still a fun game to cover.
They worked out really well.
Even more of those holes left by Funko's FNAF plushie cast. Our collection number, not including alternate versions, has now reached
36.
In the next episode, we'll move on to tackling Five Nights at Freddy's 4. When will that happen? Sometime in the future, after a lot of other videos, when I feel like it. Also, thank you to Oof Troop for letting me use their voice and appearance for my own selfish video purposes. Really kind of them. They definitely gave me permission and are definitely aware that I did so, and obviously. Also, if you see any noodle girls anywhere, tell them I'm sorry.
What? What is that referencing? I'm honestly scared to ask.
Hey, I just wanted to quickly mention that this video was viewed a day early by my super epic patrons. If you want access to when I occasionally do early showings of my videos like that, as well as other neat stuff like general sneak peeks, Q&As, access to the full resolution artwork I make for these videos, and just a general cool Discord server to hang out and chat with people, consider supporting me on Patreon. This recently became my full-time gig, so due to that fact, I could really use all the support I can get. It would really help me out and by proxy the channel. And speaking of, I'd like to thank my Skrunklies. Thank you for supporting me. Goose Nerd, Just a Penguin, Equinox Music, Jewy, Prism, April B, Creative JK, Adelaide Parade, Malin, Galaxy, Chico Mode, Frigid Duck, Caleb Hutsterfer, The Siderian, Xylo, Go.
Yeah, that's right. I almost won an entire video without needing me. But no, this dumb bitch couldn't even do simple counting. I swear to God. Wait, okay, sorry, sorry,
Not the poor AI voice. Please put AI Fluttershy out of her misery. Oh, hey, would you look at what videos in the suggestions? Oh, but yeah, again, that was absolutely wonderful. Oh, God, again, these are, again, the fact that, she is so good at these redesigns. I'm honestly upset that they're not real, like, plushies. I've basically said that in literally every single one of these videos, so, but you know what, why not tread over this ground once again? But, oh God, yeah, again, like, there are so many of these videos, and honestly, like, the reception I've been getting from them is, like, I'm honestly, like, surprised, but honestly thankful that you guys like watching them so well. So yeah, I mean, hopefully, this trend continues and she keeps hitting them out of the park with, the plushie designs of future games. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm kind of excited to see what she gets with the newer games, like with Security Breach and Secret of the Mimic and stuff like that. That'll be fun. But yeah, that is going to be it for now. So yeah, I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.